You're listening to KYST 89.3, The Bone. And now time for South Tucson Youth Football. Simulcast on AM 1400, The Ground. And on South Tucson Local Access Channel 22.
Oh, man.
You are looking live at Municipal Field number 135. We are going right into our big game of the evening. It's the second half of our doubleheader. The Creamy Surprise, 8th ranked in all of South Tucson, taking on a difficult opponent in Shoeless Gyms. Diabetic Candy Store currently sitting at 4-4 on the year. In week 9, I believe they're 2-3 in the Gluttony League. The Gluttony League proving to be quite the place to play this season as well. And of course, the Creamy Surprise, champions of the last season. The Gluttony League, second only to the Child Services Conference, the CSC, as they are currently ranked as the highest conference, the best conference in South Tucson Youth Football. That is Dodecahedron Lewis with a 13-yard catch for the Creamy Surprise to get things started. And we wanted to go right into this. We know there's a big event right afterwards. We're going to be going to the a press conference, maybe some sort of announcement, some sort of event involving the Extreme Indoor League of Football, the ZILF, and XFL. I'd like to. Oh, there is. Drop back from Q Beagles, and it is caught yet again by, who else? Dodecahedron Lewis. 33 yards so far in the first minute of this game. They are targeting Lewis early and often. And they're moving well downfield, down to the 25-yard line. Going to be a short pass to Will Rust. Gets 1 yard on that one, and he is just pushed to the ground like you would another 11-year-old child, which is actually what happened. That was an 11-year-old pushing another 11-year-old to the ground. That's the truth of the world we live in. Down on the 25, it's 2nd and 9, and if you missed our earlier game between You Need a Clown and 1-800-BUY-A-DAD, I gotta tell you, you missed quite the event. When it shows up on YouTube, you want to check that one out. The finish to that one, a last-second play, the last play of regulation ended up breaking the tie and giving the win. 1-800-BUY-A-DAD got the win, and the 6th-ranked team defeated the 10th-ranked You Need a Clown, giving them their first conference loss of the season. They were 5-0 in conference going into this. They dropped to 5-4 overall. And we'll see how that conference, the CSC, shakes out. Oh, there's a flag on the play. It might be roughing the passer. The play got off. I don't know. It's 4th and 8, but there's
passer defense.
Yep, so they're going to move him down to the 4-yard line, which is half the distance. That's Simon McDonald, who will be screamed at by his coach for blowing up that one. And I need to go get something to drink. I need to go get another PBR, which of course stands for Professional Bull Rodeo. It's a cocktail made up of bull sweat, garnished with hair, and bits of human blood from bull riding accidents. So I'm going to get one of those.
Automatic first down.
And apparently I gotta go drink it twice. So there you go. I saw another penalty. We're down to the 1-yard line. And at that point, Arnold Cummings is able to punch it in for the touchdown and put the Creamy Surprise on the board early in this one. And of course, it is rivalry week, as it is always rivalry week from week 4 onward. So Shoeless Gyms, the Diabetic Candy Store, and the Creamy Surprise are playing for a very prestigious trophy. And there is a nice return on that one, taking him over past the 35. That is putting on to Ritz for Shoeless Gyms, returning the kick. They're going to start things off from their own 37. They are playing for a trophy here in Rivalry Week. They are playing for the leftover vinyl collection after 3 garage sales. That is the leftover vinyl collection after 3 garage sales.
Personal foul.
So there you go. That is the trophy that is going to be awarded to the team. They're going to get to go over to the sideline and lift the leftover vinyl collection after 3 garage sales over their head and celebrate winning this rivalry this season. I'm going to look and see who currently holds the leftover vinyl collection after 3 garage sales going into this one. That's Adam Doherty with the tackle, bringing down Kyoto Coitusfish, the star running back of Shoeless Gyms, and they're going to have to stop. If they stop the run successfully, then there will be if they stop the run successfully, that will put away a strong player, and that was almost picked off. It's like he threw it right to Gamara Edwards. Not a name we came up with. No wide receiver in the area. And it's going to be 4th and 12, another incomplete pass. Shoeless Gyms have no answer for this stifling Creamy Surprise defense, and they will have to punt with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Yes, okay, so these two teams met in week 4 of last season, and the Creamy Surprise were the home team, and they got the win 21-16 over Shoeless Gyms. So that is a, wow, we have a lot of people watching us right now. There's 30 people. Holy crow, how in the world did that happen? You get raided or something? At this point, I don't even know.
That brings up 2nd and 1.
But nonetheless, this will be the final televised game and broadcast game here on KYST, of course, of Week 9. And then we'll head into the final week of the season. So if South Tucson Youth Football is new to you, I feel like there's a lot of people watching this. Okay, that's why. We're getting hosted by Mr. Kavivman. Excellent. And a first down for the Creamy Surprise. That is Fred Greenwood. A backup running back. Interesting. So for those unfamiliar with South Tucson Youth Football, welcome. You're watching South Tucson Youth Football. This is a youth football league in the tiny town of South Tucson, Arizona. It, of course, is the 4th biggest little city in the world. They're a very proud town. They love their youth sports. They love bullying their children into joining sports. And as you can tell, they do that so well that we have 60, that is 60 teams in South Tucson Youth Football. They're split up into 6 different conferences of 10 teams each. Each of those conferences have 2 divisions of 5. Your typical college football inspired sort of thing. And they play a 10-week season. And then there's championship week. Oh, I just got a cheer of a couple of Gray Bits. Exciting. Thank you for paying me in Gray Bits, which of course are the official cryptocurrency of IRM. Gray Bits. Q Beagles marching him down the field very nicely. He's 5 for 6. Great throwing up record. He's a mobile quarterback. He likes to run it a lot, but he is showing that he has the chance as he throws an incomplete pass and makes me look silly. But, yes, so after our 10 weeks of games, there will be the championship week where we know who our conference champions are, and those, of course, are the 2 division winners taking on each other in one big championship game. And then we will have our 12-team playoff, where 6 of those teams will be the conference champions, auto bids, and then the other 6 spots will go to at-large bids made by the selection committee, a.k.a. me. We'll have a big old... We'll do a big old selection show, and then we'll have the playoffs, and we'll crown a champion. The Creamy Surprise are the defending champions, and they are currently in the running. They're ranked 8th overall, and they're up 7-0 after 1. And they are an ice cream shop. Someone was asking me, do they sell donuts filled with cream? No, the Creamy Surprise is an ice cream shop. And it's a delightful ice cream shop. You can get they have they have hand dipped ice cream if you like that kind. They have like soft serve or like a frozen custard. You could get that, and I mean the fun really comes of what you can do with your ice cream. I mean, the ice cream's great, but you can do so many fun things when you put your toppings on it. You can get like a banana split, and they just, you know, they just hand you the banana and they have you, you know,
Defense.
make your own joke really about the banana. It's late. I'm tired. Whatever. It's a phallic joke. And of course, you know, you can have toppings like butterscotch topping or chocolate sauce just completely lathered all over you and your ice cream. The real fun is the topping cannon, though. The topping gun. You can get your dish of ice cream, and if you so choose, you can lean forward and into the topping gun and have your ice cream get blasted, and sometimes you in the face too, by the topping cannon. There's usually whipped cream in there. Sometimes there's some other, maybe marshmallow fluff, gets a little sticky. And of course, if you like chopped up walnuts, then you can get your share of nuts as well on your ice cream. I feel like I'm doing a live read for them, but you know, the Creamy Surprise is a lovely establishment. Shoeless Jim's Diabetic Candy Store is on the same block actually, so there's a bit of a rivalry there. You know, they do. We've devolved to ice cream talk. Well, I mean, I'm just telling you about one of the 2 teams. This is like your youth sports where all the teams have a local sponsor, a local business sponsoring them, and their team name is basically the local business sponsor. That is one booming punt. That's going to send the Creamy Surprise all the way back to their own 10, and they opt to just let Shoeless Jims down it. So that's going to be quite the field to cover, but their defense has kept them in it with the lead. So let's see if Q Beagles, the star quarterback of the Creamy Surprise, can get them out of their own red zone. That's going to be a good start. Victor Hardy, 8-yard catch. 2nd and 2.
That makes it 2nd and 2.
Yes, of course it's the Tucsonade. That is absolutely the Tucsonade. As you notice, you'll see like orange coolers that look like they're another brand, but Tucsonade is, of course, the official sports drink and steroid of South Tucson Youth Football and all of South Tucson Youth Sports. Tucsonade, it's basically steroids. And you can try all the new Tucsonade flavors like mint, rubbing alcohol, and, of course, hair. Q Beagle's going to be a mobile quarterback. He's taken off. Oh, takes a big hit, but gets 11 yards. And it's 3rd and inches. Does not get the first down. 3rd and inches. Oh, thank you for the follow, the Iron Stomper. Whether you're watching over on Caveman's stream or you're over here on IRM, we appreciate you joining us. This is South Tucson Youth Football, one of the many programs you will see on our channel. Currently, it's the only one running at the moment, but we're trying to fix that up. We just finished up a thing called the Diddler Cup. It is a NASCAR-inspired stock car racing season. Oh my God, like 4 people just ran into each other. That's beautiful. Arnold Cummings with a 16-yard catch, the running back, showing he can pull it down and get a first down. Let's see that beautiful, just like 4 children just running head first into one, and that had to leave several injured. Beautiful. But yes, the Diddler Cup is, and of course all these things you can see on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/IRMstream. We like to keep it all consistent. IRMstream, that's our Twitter, our Twitch, and our YouTube. And of course our Wikia page as well. The Diddler Cup is absolutely something I think you should check out. It's our wonderfully fun stock car racing season, which was won, I believe, by Jean-Paul Henry in the number 40 Ludger Beer Bombs car, I believe, was our official champion.
Automatic first down.
Again, 32 cars battled it out, and the number 40 team were the winners. But yeah, there'll be some more stuff coming in 2018. I plan on bringing back mixed martial arts in some form, in multiple forms if I get it right. In fact, this week we'll be doing a bit of a test kitchen stream where it's not going to be presented like an actual thing, but we're going to kind of see if we can make something happen in a game. And of course there'll be some wrestling. I need to come back to the wrestling. That's always what it is. I was a little sad when I brought WCW Universe finally to a conclusion, but it was a weight off of me, and I was very happy about that. It was also like a 6-year-old game or something. And I definitely need to bring back some wrestling, so don't you worry, there will be some. That's a beautiful pass up the middle to Wally Kirby, 17 yards. Creamy Surprise looking to make it a 2-score game. They've already made it into the end zone on their one trip to the red zone, and that's going to be a flag, so there's going to be, I think that might be some face maskage. Some face masking. Just, those kids love to grab onto those. They just see them, they look like handles. So they just figure they just grab them and they can yank a child down with relative ease, that they just kind of think that's the way to go about tackling someone. Yes, Wally Kirby is not a name we made up. Every team has 3 players that have a funny name that I edited in. Q Beagles is one of them, and he just ran it in himself for a 5-yard touchdown run to put the Creamy Surprise up by 2 scores with 1 minute and a second left in the first half.
The kick is good. Number 23, deep to return.
And let's see what Shoeless Gyms can do. They got 57 seconds to do it. Sid Hemphill with the return, and under a minute to go. A lot of them did miss picture day, you're right. But we went right down to the Muni. We didn't even get a chance for our pregame show today, which is totally fine because, we wanted to get right to the action and wanted to save some time for the Extreme Indoor League of Football as they get to have their season kickoff. I think it's more of a celebration of the return of the Extreme Indoor League of Football, the ZILF, if you will, and I will. 42 seconds to go. Phillip White gets 3 yards back. What is the story of Shoeless Jim's shoes? Well, it's okay. Well, the full name of the business is Shoeless Jim's Diabetic Candy Store. Shoeless Jim sells diabetic candy in his candy store, and nothing but diabetic candy. And oh my goodness, it's a turnover. They punted, muffed the punt, and it's landed on by Shoeless Jims. They just basically got better field position. Practically a rugby play on that one. And they are down to the 44-yard line with 24 seconds and a chance to get on the board going into the half.
Gain of 2 yards.
The fumble is on the Creamy Surprise.
Andrews on the tackle. That's a gain of 7 on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and inches.
And they're going to air it out. Is it caught? No, it is not. Well, they get one more chance at it. 4th and inches.
Number 23, the intended receiver on the play.
So this will be the last play of the half. Before we go and thank our sponsors and, of course, well, that's going to be it. We are done with the first half of the play. Number 8 ranked Creamy Surprise, the away team, leading by 2 touchdowns, 14-0 over Shoeless Jims. Yet to get on the board. And of course, I'd like to thank, as always, our sponsor Nissan. Be sure to test drive the all-new Nissan 2018 Laugh Finder. It comfortably fits 8, uncomfortably fits in a child's swimming pool. And of course, it's time for our local sponsor spotlight, where we highlight one of the local businesses who have helped make South Tucson Youth Football what it is today. And today we want to talk about Diddler's Family Restaurant. You know what? No, I'm not gonna. We already talked about the Diddler Cup. They already got enough advertising. We're going to talk about Mama Logano's Legitimate Spaghetti House. Because, you know, Italian food is oddly simple and yet complex. You know, any sort of Goomba Johnny can just cook up some pasta, slop some red sauce on it, serve it up and say that's dinner. But at Mama Logano's, they are legitimate spaghetti businessmen. You can get your pasta made by a legitimate spaghetti businessman who will absolutely not put you in the corner and hopefully, you know, put a hit out on you if you write a bad review on Yelp. In fact, you look at Yelp, nothing but 5-star reviews. There's a couple that maybe once in a while you see a bad review. Don't worry about it. It goes away. It goes away. All right, that's Mama Logano's Legitimate Spaghetti House. Take the gun. Leave the cannolis until dessert, then you can take the cannolis too. And we're back with the second half of action. Shoeless Jims trying to get on the board. Yeah, forget about it. Exactly.
Call it a loss of 1 yard on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 12.
Jonathan Flowers with the tackle on Kyoto Coitusfish, who's just not been able to do a thing. He's rushed for a -6 yards. That's not good. There's no bueno. And Philip White sacked for a loss of 3. The Creamy Surprise. Their defense has been stifling this Shoeless Jims team. By the way, of course, we give each of these teams an offensive playbook that they have modeled their offense after. Might as well let you know that the Creamy Surprise are running the multiple offense. So they're really, they've got multiple receivers. Just a really kind of a wild card sort of option play. Shoeless Jims have a run-balanced offense. And the ball's loose. Ball is on the ground. Creamy Surprise have recovered it. And there it is, a turnover. Creamy Surprise have taken control of this game.
it 2nd and 8.
2nd and 8 for the Creamy Surprise. Of course, you missed it between the first and the second quarter. They had a nice little a contest for the fans in attendance right on the sidelines over there. They had the Shoeless Gym's no-legged race. It's where they you know, originally they wanted to chop people's feet off and have them run around a track, but they realized they couldn't do that. So instead, we've got
That makes it 1st and 10.
people have to bind their feet to basically like kind of like rolling pins, like baseball bats. So they kind of just they're running as if they have nubs, and they have to run through an obstacle course. And it took forever. Like we just finally had a winner, even through the halftime, and that is a touchdown for Maxwell. Creamy Surprise, a 3rd touchdown. Q Beagles finds him in the back of the end zone, the far corner. And the Creamy Surprise are looking like the championship team we saw last season. 21-0. This is a statement game in a week where so much has happened to the top 10 teams. This is a statement game for the Creamy Surprise. I'm just going to go ahead and go through some of the other ranked the ranked teams have, you know, there's been a mix of results. We had the #1 team in all of South Tucson lose. That is Moist Adventures Indoor Water Park. They lost to Hootenanny's Country Western Daycare. #2, Marmalade Shack. They won. You saw them on stream yesterday. They beat Rancho Robusto Plus Size Warehouse 20-13. #3, Twin Towers Construction with a big away win over, I believe, #7, Salmon Sons Gazebo Repair. #4 is Ted's Baby Clothes Emporium. They had a win over Tony and Paul's Child Escort Service 30-17. They got a win. So already we're going to see some movement in in the top 5. And #5, Yoga for Fatties lost in a big way to Burns and Crackle Mesothelioma Law Firm. So they're going to be dropping down 45-24. So we're looking at teams like You Need a Clown and 1-800-BIADAD. BIADAD, #6 in the rankings. They beat You Need a Clown, who are #10. We talked about how Salmon Sons lost at #7. #8 is playing right now, the Creamy Surprise. #9 in the rankings is Pablo's Roadside Tacos. They lost to Flappy Pappy's Pancake Shanty. In fact, Flappy Pappy's might be a team we see in the top 10 now. They are 6-3 and 4-2 in conference, just like Pablo's, and they got the win. And of course, #10, we mentioned it earlier, You Need a Clown, falling to 1-800-BIADAD. They dropped to 5-4. That is not going to keep them in the rankings. So a lot of movement. We're going to see a lot of teams moving up and down as we grow closer and closer to championship week. We'll have an idea of where everyone's going to stand after week 9 is in the books. But right now, Shoeless Gyms are not looking like they have come to play. The Creamy Surprise look like a team that is ready to take the Gluttony League back once more. They are kind of in the middle. They're kind of middling around. If they get a win, they will be one of 3 teams in the quick service division sitting at 4-2. It is just a mishmash of teams as we head into the final game of the season. That could matter in a big way. And that does not look good. That is Kyoto Coitus Fish. Went out injured. Should be back soon, though. Hopefully by the start of the 4th quarter. That's another piece of the Shoeless Gyms puzzle that is just missing. Daryl Fuller, the backup running back, takes it right up the middle for 4 yards, gets the first down. It's 1st and goal with 1.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter of play. And, you know, I'm just looking at the standings right now in front of me, and there are some amazing performances we've seen from teams so far. The Marmalade Shack are almost certainly going to be the #1 team in South Tucson when the rankings come out. They are 6-0 in conference, 8-1 on the season, and I believe they have locked up the Goods Division Championship. They will be playing for the Big Small Business Division Conference Championship. But you got to imagine, win or lose, they're going to be in the playoffs, especially with an 8-1 record. Twin Towers Construction with an 8-1 record. They're looking really good as well.
That makes it 3rd and goal.
They might be the number 2 team in South Tucson as well. 5-1 in the BCC. They just got a big win over Salmon Sons, so that will give them the tiebreaker over Salmon Sons for the Grit division. And the Grind division, definitely the weaker of the two. Ed Kenny breaking that one up. It's 4th and goal, and it looks like they're going to kick the field goal. I mean, they want to put some points on the board here, do Shoeless Gyms. And they get 3, so that's going to help out. Interesting thing about You Need a Clown and Bayadad, even though You Need a Clown lost, they are in the lead still at 5-1 of the mandatory division. So their destiny is in their own hands still. They can still represent the CSC mandatory division in the championship game, and Bayadad may be out of luck. And so may Ted's Baby Clothes Emporium. That's 3 teams out of the CSC who are ranked all in the same division, and only one can represent their division in the conference championship. So we're going to be watching that one, I think, next week as well. That is Arnold Cummings with a 2-yard rush up the middle. Creamy Surprise, happy to just take as much time off the clock as they possibly can and just put this one to rest, take their victory, keep everybody healthy. You know, that is one of those things. Q Beagles is one of those players that, as long as he stays healthy, they're going to have a good season. And you got to imagine the Creamy Surprise are going to move up at least a few spots when the rankings come out. And I don't want to be super presumptuous here, but they are up by 18 as we go into the 4th quarter. And they are currently sitting at 3-2. They would be 4-2 and 6-3 on the year with a win. And let's see what kind of stats they have. You know, they've got the 5th toughest schedule in all of South Tucson. They've got they're 5th in the RPI rankings. Their conference is the 2nd best conference, so that's got to be worth something. You know, it's sometimes it's just those few wins. Like, we're going to see teams that are going to have 6 wins. Potentially, we're going to see teams with 6 wins in the playoffs. I don't know what to throw, but it was one of my other controllers. That's fine. You know, we look at the teams with 7 wins and 8 wins. There are only 4 teams with 7 or more wins going into Week 10. Ted's Baby Clothes Emporium and Moist Adventures are both 7-2. Marmalade Shack and Twin Towers Construction are both 8-1. So it sounds like that right there is going to be your top 4 teams. And then we're going to see some other movement around. You know, early on, that's a good point. DWAP or DWAP. We were talking in the first game earlier, which, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you can go back and check it out. Great game. Absolutely worth checking it out. About what the biggest blowout, the biggest margin of victory in all of South Tucson Youth Football happened in the very first season. We're in season number 3 right now. It was a game between Welders of the Universe and Twin Towers Construction, and actually the roles were very much reversed at the time. Twin Towers were an absolute wretched team. They were bottom of the tables. Welders of the Universe were going in, were running undefeated for the first 9 games of the season. They finished the season 9-1 and actually went out in the first round of the playoffs. But that game, they won 56-14. That is a 42-point deficit that they dealt to Twin Towers Construction. And I think right now, Twin Towers Construction would possibly be putting the opposite score on them right now. I think Welders of the Universe having a rough go at it this season. Twin Towers 8-1. They'll almost certainly be in the playoffs, you gotta feel. And we'll have bracketology and everything for you as this clock continues to tick down. The Creamy Surprise just letting the clock just die as the play clock goes down to 5, 4, and 3, and then they snap that football, run it up the middle, another first down, moves the chains, and gives them another opportunity to milk more clocks. They're going to see if they can run it up the middle. Although Cube Eagles is all alone, he might be taking it himself. I don't know if I agree with that. He's gonna run up the middle himself. Yep, he's tripped up, sacked for a loss of 1. And at 4th and 3. I think it's a little bit of hubris there. I think you got to bring out your running back and just have him do his job. Get those 3 yards, get 2 yards, whatever it is you needed. And they're going to go for it because they're too far for a field goal. And there's always that chance that they can put the game to bed. We're under 2 minutes now. A first down effectively ends the game, but Shoeless Gyms do have their timeouts. So it's not officially mathematically over, but it is practically over as we're seeing the clock continue to tick down. There are going to be so many great games to talk about next week in South Tucson. We got the XILF opening ceremonies, perhaps, coming up, and that is a first down for the Creamy Surprise. 90 seconds to go. Shoeless Gyms are not going to call their timeouts. They're going to call off the dogs. They're going to take the L. And these two teams... Oh, there's a flag on the play. You don't want to see that.
Personal foul.
Face mask. It's just...
Defense.
These kids it's getting a little chippy. Let's just go ahead and go to the end of the game. You don't need to be scoring. They're not trying to. They're just trying to run out the clock at this point. The Creamy Surprise will win this. They have a big game against Diddler's Family Restaurant in the final week of the season. Meanwhile, Shoeless Gyms, they will finish the game of the season away to Pablo's Roadside Tacos. That'll be a tough final game of the season. Looking at some of the other teams, Moist Adventures will take on CTE, the Crash Zone Trampoline Experience. Ted's Baby Clothes Emporium versus Hootenannies should be a good one. 7-2 Ted's versus 5-4 Hootenannies. And Twin Towers Construction have Captain Chuck's Adventure Taxi. Don't sleep on them. They got a 5-3 record. And the Marmalade Shack, who will most certainly be the #1 team in all of South Tucson. They got Crambler's House of Gags and Actual Items. A 2-7 team, disappointing season for Cramblers, who made the playoffs last year as the conference champions of the BSB. Creamy Surprise have just punched it in one more time, so now I understand why these kids were going for the face mask. They just wanted to rub it in a little bit. 28-3 looks like it'll be the final score of this game. But now Shoeless Gyms will get the football back. I don't know why you don't just take a knee on that one. You could potentially injure a child like we just saw that kid get trucked by putting on to Ritz. And he's angry. They are angry, and they are looking to just get some bit of pride back. There's the handoff. Kyoto Coitus Fish runs into his own blocker. 2nd and 3. He gets 7 yards out of it. Could have had a first down if he didn't have that minor collision, and they take their first timeout. So this is what happens. We just elongated the game. They're going to pass it out to Coitus Fish. 3rd and inches. Good defending. They stop him at the imaginary yellow line that signifies the first down. 3rd and inches. 2nd timeout called. 34 seconds to go. There's the snap. It's Coitus Fish one more time. They're getting him the first down. He just gets enough. He gets a hair, perhaps a single chest hair, over the imaginary line that signifies a first down. So here we go again, just playing for pride at this point, looking to get some reps in, and he's going to slide 2nd and 2. But that is going to be game, I think. I don't know if they're going to take one more snap. Maybe they'll take one shot downfield. Empty backfield. Maybe they will, just for pride. And I guess that just like they threw the play up, Jelani Easley gets a 9-yard catch. And that will bring an end to this game. The final score, the Creamy Surprise with the 8th ranked team, with the number 8 ranking, will move up, most certainly. They get a big win, 28-3 over Shoeless Gyms Diabetic Candy Store. Shoeless Gyms dropped to 4 and 5. Creamy Surprise, 6 and 3 on the season, and they're going to be eyeing the playoffs They're going to be eyeing an at-large bid, I think, right now, because they may not have what it takes to get... oh, no, they have moved up. They're in a three-way tie with Flappy Pappies and Pablos, and I got to see how the tiebreakers shake out on that one. But we'll find out about that. We'll see you in Week 10. Don't go anywhere. In fact, head over to Hogan versus Flair, HVF, and check out the XILF partnering with us. They've chosen South Tucson Youth Football to sponsor in their whole play like a champion or else your parents will be mad at you campaign. And head on over to there. That's what's going on. Until next time, I'm Brian, and we're going to go ahead and say, so long, Arizona.